Hey guys, and welcome to our second edition of Race Car Fabrication and Restoration. My name is Ronnie Humphrey. Appreciate you joining me today, and I appreciate those of you who already subscribed to our brand new YouTube channel. And I hope that you will tell your friends and your gearhead buddies about it. We're going to have a lot of fun when you subscribe to the channel. That way you will know through notifications through YouTube to let you know we have a new video up. And our goal is try to have videos up every week or so. That's what we're going to try to do, so we kind of keep things going, kind of all the crazy stuff we have going on in the shop. Today we're going to look at my little Street Legal NASCAR. We started on this car back in July of 2019, and we bought the car actually from Texas Motor Speedway, the driving school over there, and it was just a roller. We took a long time trying to get this car together. It took us about 7-8 months to build the car. But majority of the time was dealt with the paperwork behind it. If you can imagine, the first time I walked into the DMV, they just shook their head. They said, "What are you trying to do?" I said, I want to make a street legal race car. It's been a 30-year dream of mine to do. And they thought I was crazy. And but boy, it was a roller coaster ride up and down. We ended up having about, I guess, 5 or 6 visits from the state police come out here, and they had never seen anything like it. Like I say, it is the only street legal race car in the state of Louisiana, but we did it the legal, correct way, I'd like to say. We went and got an assembled motor vehicle done. That way, we started off with scratch, all the documentation for all the chassis, motor, transmission, rear end, and everything. And we went the process to where once everything was verified and documented, the main thing is getting the chassis documented. And I had to take a couple of trips out to Charlotte just to get that. But once we found out who the chassis manufacturer was kind of able to back into it, was able to get assembled motor vehicle title issued by the state police and by the state DMV. And that way, this car, I will never ever get stopped. I can never impound the car unless I'm doing something stupid. But you know, they can't do anything to the car. It is a complete 100% legal car. But I was driving it yesterday, all this to say, I was driving it yesterday and I accidentally hung the exhaust. And I have never done that. I've put about 1,100 miles in this car, and I have never ever hung the exhaust on anything. And I pulled my crossover tube off the headers on the passenger side. And we're going to get it up on the lift here today and look at it. And I took a little sneak peek when I came in yesterday afternoon. I noticed that it looks like the rear seal in the transmission could be leaking as well. So we're going to look at that. So I appreciate you joining us again today, and we're going to play around with this car. We'll take a little closer look at it here in a minute too, and you might enjoy doing that. A close view of what a street legal NASCAR actually is. It is a head turner, let me tell you that. But stay tuned and we'll be right back with you. Okay, welcome back YouTube, and as promised, I thought we'd give you a real quick tour of the street legal NASCAR that we built. And this is, as I was saying, is absolutely 100% street legal. We have a lot of fun with it and run around town. It gets a lot of attention. As I was mentioning to you, it took us about 7 months to get the title done on it. And what we actually had a VIN number signs you can see here from the state of Louisiana, and then it actually has this plate here as well. So it's absolutely official from the state police with its own title. It is called assembled motor vehicle title, but it took a long time to get it done, but it was worth it. And it's been really a lifelong dream of mine to try to have a street legal car. It's a lot of fun to play with. But it has a steel-headed small block Chevrolet in it, 355 in it. And this motor probably makes around 500, 525 horsepower or something like that. It runs really, really good. But it has you got your horns. Matter of fact, we'll even show you how they mash the horn button here. But we've got blinkers. You can see here, I mean, it is 100% legal all the way around. We even have our windshield wipers, and it's got everything that they required. We went through a lot of ups and downs. They originally wanted us to put windows in it and opening doors, and we finally convinced them that that wasn't necessary, and they finally agreed to it. But anyway, it's a lot of fun. We do carry friends around ours to ride in it. And we'll get some video of this car here when we get it back up and running. We'll take it out in the street and let you play with it. But that's what we got here. So we're going to try to get this thing on the lift here, see what we're going to do about this exhaust, and we'll get it up in the air and check it out. So we'll be right back with you. Welcome back, YouTube. As you can see, we have the Street Legal race car safely up on the lift now, so we can try to get a little better look, see what's going on with this transmission seal. It's kind of a blessing in disguise. By hitting the exhaust Saturday afternoon, I had no idea that we had a seal leaking, and it must just start because it has not been leaking here in my shop. But I checked the transmission fluid level, and it is low. So we're going to go ahead and pop out this rear seal. And in order to do that, though, I need to pull all this exhaust off. This cross tube right here is going to give us a little better access to the back of the transmission with everything off. So it doesn't take about 4 or 5 bolts to get it off, so it won't be an issue at all to do that. Also, I noticed that one of my mufflers here is twisted just a hair, so I want to try to get that straightened back out. These are sprint car mufflers. Actually, they are legal in California. I work with Dennis Schoenfeld up at Schoenfeld Headers up in Arkansas, a really good friend of mine, and he suggested the kind of the quietest mufflers to have. Everything is totally open exhaust all the way through the whole car, but yet these mufflers kind of take some of the high pitch off of it. It gives a real deep throaty sound, so they sound good. And we'll get everything back together. We'll take this sucker down the road for a spin and let you listen to it, see how you like that. So stick with me, and we will try to get all this stuff pulled off and gain access to the transmission, and we'll see what we come up with. See you in a minute. Hello YouTube, and welcome back to the update on our Street Legal NASCAR. We were able to get this old seal out and pop it out, and went to Auto Parts store and found a new seal for our Muncie transmission we run in this car. And talked to a buddy of mine who runs a transmission shop, and he recommended finding something that would fit the seal diameter perfect size when we go to knock it in. I dug around, I looked and looked and looked, and over my scrap steel pile I found this really heavy duty piece of tubing, but I mean the diameter was a perfect size for the shoulder on this seal. So we were able to get the seal in there and then drive it home with a hammer, just like, and we knocked it in and got it sealed up perfect. It looks real good. They actually come with a coating of Loctite actually around it, so we didn't put anything on, just put it in dry. And with the seal that's comes from the factory around the edge of it on the shoulder, I think it'll be fine. So we're going to, now we got the seal installed, we're going to go ahead and put some grease in the transmission. And then also, I was telling you yesterday, I noticed that one of my sprint car mufflers had twisted on me a little bit. And when it twists, it gives me less ground clearance. So I think I'm going to go ahead, while I'm up under here, I'm going to go ahead and drill a little small pop rivet on both sides of the collector on the exhaust here, and I want to keep this thing from turning, and because that corner just takes about another inch of clearance away from me, and I don't know how the roads are where you live at, but here in Louisiana they pretty much suck, so I need all the clearance I can. I'm also considering raising the ride height on the car just a little bit because we have a limited amount of clearance thanks to our roads right here. So we're going to probably do that too and raise these up as well, and keep them square so they won't turn anymore. But anyway, we're going to get everything put back together, and get some grease in the transmission, and then we'll get the exhaust back on the drive shaft. We'll lower it down, and we may just go take a little spin and take it for a ride in this car. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with you. Okay, welcome back, YouTube. We have the new transmission lube in the transmission. We have a new seal installed in the back of the transmission. The drive shaft is installed. We also put the exhaust on. I leveled out the mufflers, put a couple pop rivets in, and keep those stationary now, so help with that little bit of ground clearance. So we're ready to get this thing down to the ground and see if we can take it for a test drive and make sure everything's okay. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with you. Welcome back, YouTube, and we are ready to test drive the Street Legal NASCAR. We're going to take it out for a little quick spin here. It's kind of late in the afternoon, got just a little bit of time left. We're going to drop it down and see if we can fire her up and get her out on the road and see what happens. good setup. So appreciate y'all watching. We'll be back with you in just a second. Hey guys, I want to give you a big thank you for watching this second episode of Race Car Restoration and Fabrication. I appreciate you guys joining in. Remember to subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already. I appreciate all the views we've had on our first video, but stay tuned. We got some cool things. You know, I've been teasing you last week and this week about this project we got coming up. Well, I'm going to give you a little tease here. Here it is. We're fixing to go pick it up here and hopefully just the next day or two. And we got two cars. We have this car and the 66 Nova. This is an all-pro asphalt car. And it's going to be a neat build, neat restoration, and we're going to pick it up, I'm hoping, in the next couple of days. And we'll get it in the shop here and get started on that project. But thanks again. Remember, subscribe to our channel, and I hope you have a great week, and we will see you next time on Race Car Fabrication and Restoration. Take care.